And welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and that is right. Jango Fett is coming into the game. He's going to be a dark side bounty hunter, scoundrel, attacker. Now, what's really cool is he is kind of the missing link that they need to be PvP viable. They are touting Jango Fett as the missing leader slash attacker you need to take down the Triumvirate. So we're going to test that theory for ourselves. We're going to go into Arena and check it out. Now, the best team for player versus player should be Jango Fett as a lead. We're going to go over why his leadership is the best. Bosk for the tank. Boba Fett, of course. Got to have his son in there. Embo and Dengar. We're going to go over mods, and then we're going to go over his attacks and abilities. Let's do mods. And the sets I went with were a health set because he's ridiculously squishy, and a critical damage set. Now, he's one of those guys that's doing a ton of crit damage, and so he still is going to benefit from the crit damage set. You could do a crit chance mod set as well instead of health, but I chose to go health. As far as the arrow, you're still going to want to do speed. Of course, speed is king on that. As far as the triangle, you're going to want to do crit damage. We're all in with Jango Fett on crit damage for sure. And then for the plus, you could either do an offense or a potency set. Offense set if you're using him in PvE, like in the raid phase 2, and potency in arena because you're really going to have to be intentional about making sure you can get his debuffs to apply. He does some really cool debuffs. And for Arena, I would actually suggest Protection. I know Protection is kind of almost to the wayside in comparison to Health nowadays, but it does provide kind of a shell that's a little bigger than Health that allows for you to get your payout. And with Bounty Hunters, that's very important. So I would still suggest a Protection circle. Now we're going to go ahead and go into his abilities. You can see he has a basic, a couple specials. He has a leadership ability that has a speeding up ability for the whole team, which is awesome, and 2 uniques, including his payout. So we're going to go through them all. The very first ability, called Unscrupulous Gunfire, it does have an Omega, and it says deals physical damage to a target enemy and gains 15% offense for each enemy suffering a debuff during this attack. So what that means is you need and you want to have debuffers on your side, and you want to apply as many debuffs as possible. Now, this is difficult against the Triumvirate because they're constantly cleansing with a Darth Traya lead. It says she doesn't even have to be the lead either. If she's just on the team, they're going to cleanse at the beginning of their turn. It says if a target enemy was suffering a debuff, Jango Fett attacks again. So you're going to want to make sure that you're smart and that you always are attacking somebody who has a debuff applied. Now, Shrapnel Blast is a special, has a cooldown of 4, and it will deal physical damage to a target enemy and then a random enemy. So it should hit 2 people. It also says it inflicts healing immunity and stagger to the target enemy for 2 turns. And then there's Conflagration. Conflagration inflicts burning for 3 turns, then deals physical damage to all enemies. This attack can't be evaded. So it's actually doing damage twice, once in the AoE attack, hitting everybody. Second, in that it's going to apply burning, which is going to prevent the evasion capability, and it's going to provide damage over time. It's actually significantly more damage over time than a dot. The other part I like about it is it says this attack cannot be evaded, which is very good against the current meta. There's a lot of evasion and foresight. Now it says Conflagration on target character. What it means is it says they're going to lose 25% max health, and that stacks if they were suffering a debuff. So assuming they had a debuff, they're going to get negative 25% max health stacking. This should work pretty efficiently against your Darth Nihiluses that you're going against. That's kind of how this was built for. And then Conflagration on target raid boss will, the raid boss will lose 10% tenacity stacking if they suffered a debuff. And this is only an Omega to get to the top. Now, his leadership is his first of 2 Zetas, and it says, and this is what we needed, scoundrel allies have plus 30% speed. You have to have that if you're going to be the arena lead, really, for this team. It also says enemies have negative 20% potency for each debuff on all bounty hunter allies. And so if they're debuffing you, it actually hurts them and makes it harder for them to apply debuffs on you, which is cool. And they also, it says also, and negative 40% tenacity. Pretty awesome. It says enemies that are burning can't gain bonus turn meter. So if you can get that burn on them, they're not going to be able to apply bonus turn meter. And then it says bounty hunters have plus 35% offense when they have bounty hunters resolve, and they're going to get that when they fulfill his contract. It also says when he's in the leader slot, not the ally slot, his contract that you can fulfill says damage a debuffed enemy 20 times. As a reward, all bounty hunters will get the bounty hunters resolve. That's insane. At the start of their next turn, and plus 25% crit chance. Now, he has Notorious Reputation. This is his other Zeta, and it is definitely worth his Zeta because it says Jango Fett has 100% defense penetration, means he completely ignores their defense, and so he's doing true damage. If he's hitting for 20k, he's going to hit for 20k. It's not going to be compressed. And plus 50% max health. He needs that desperately bad. It also says enemies revived or defeated on his turn can't be revived. So when he kills someone, it acts kind of like a Nihilus. It also says at the start of battle and whenever an enemy is defeated, Jango Fett automatically recovers 100% protection and gains Bounty Hunter's Resolve until he's defeated. And then, of course, he has a payout like all of them, and it says whenever he receives a reward from a contract, he also gains the following. What does he get? He gains damage immunity for 2 turns. That's right. For 2 turns, he cannot be hurt. Damage immunity. It says it can't be dispelled or prevented. He also, once he gets his payout, gets an additional plus 50% offense. All right, so this is the team that I would recommend. Jango Fett's leadership is going to need to be Zetaed. Bosk does not need his leadership Zetaed, but his unique where he taunts as long as they have protection on the other side is definitely a Zeta that I would highly recommend. And then Embo has one that he cannot be critically hit. That's a good Zeta if you can get it. And of course, Boba Fett's Zeta for this particular team provides more durability. So those are really the 4 Zetas, you know, a unique on Embo, Boba, and Bosk if you can. If not, really the only thing you have to have is Jango Fett's leadership. Now we're going to go ahead and go into battle. Okay, so the very first thing that I am going to suggest is that you attempt to burn Darth Nihilus and everybody else. So we did get burn applied. Now, we want to be able to take somebody out, and Sith Trooper's really going to be a pain in this battle. We don't have many ways to dispel. So right now, what we're going to use is Dispel. Okay, that's going to get rid of that. We can move over now to Thrawn, and what we're trying to do is complete the contract. So we're just going to do a basic because we should be able to get 2 hits with this, and then we are going to do the mass attack in hopes that we can get as many hits as possible. Plus, Thrawn is already damaged pretty good. Now he fractures our lead. We did get Isolate put on Bosk, which is what we wanted. Now we're going to use this special because Mini Mind Mayhem does a ton of debuffs, and right, we need as many debuffs as possible. We're going to Dispel Sith Trooper so we can keep working on what we want to work on. Let's get Thrawn out of there. That's really the guy that we're going to have the most trouble with. I have to hit Darth Sion. Now the good news is this team is durable because they come back to life. Let's go ahead and do a basic right now. Hope we call an assist. Nope, let's dispel that. We got to keep going back to Thrawn. Let's do a basic. Hope we... we're caught again on the taunt. That pain is a real pain. And what we want to do is his basic again. And now we all have payout. Now it looks really bad. Our guys got kind of beat up pretty good. But what we can do now, we have 3 debuffs over Thrawn. I'm pretty sure I should be able to kill Thrawn with this. And I got my protection back, which I really needed to do. That's the durability that I was talking about. Now, because they have Bounty Hunter's Resolve, you see, they can ignore taunt, all of them. I don't have to worry about Sith Trooper anymore. He's only a pain in the butt for the very beginning. And I am ability block. Now, the next person I got to worry about is Nihilus. He's absolutely going to wreck us if we don't get him out. So we're going to start working on killing him as much as possible. All right, let's go ahead and try and stun him. Not that stunning matters. Actually, let's do a basic just for the hope to call to assist. Nope. All right, let's taunt. Not that it matters. And let's just keep trying to debuff. I know they're going to cleanse, but if we're targeting certain people. The other thing I wanted to notate is if you look, you'll notice the bombs now have a lock on them. That's right. Thermal detonators now are not cleansable. They are actually worth their salt. That's pretty amazing. So let's go ahead and let's keep working on Nihilus. Let's see. Shrapnel Blast. It inflicts healing immunity and stagger. If we can hit him, we can remove turn meter. So let's do that. Got the healing immunity on. Let's hit him again because then it will remove his turn meter. Whap. And let's go ahead and do his war helmet. Hopefully we can do a lot of damage with this. Wow. Bam. All right. Ooh. Let's keep going on Darth Nihilus with that health down. And let's put burning again on them. Yes, this is why I put potency on his lead. And look at that damage. Now, the reason why that damage goes through is because he has 100% defense penetration. Now, I need Embo to get his protection back, so we're going to whack him. Whap. And now he's good. We're going to start going for Treya. She's the next problem. Now, we are benefited on the test account by having as much time as we need. We got 60 minutes, and I'm going slowly so we can talk through it and we can learn together. But obviously, if you were in an arena, you would want to bust this out exactly how I'm doing it, but without doing all the talking. Let's go ahead and hit her. And again, it went on the right character. We want it to go on Bosk. Let's go ahead and do his basic. Watch the damage. Whap. Oh, he only shot once because she wasn't debuffed. So let's keep the debuffs going. Again, it applied thermal detonators, and those are not cleansable, which is going to ensure they're always debuffed, so that way you can get your ability. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do his Kyuzo just because I feel like it's going to do more damage than his basic. Whap! That was excellent. Now we're going to move to... actually, let's move to Sith Trooper, because he's less of a threat. Let's do a basic. Basics. And the thing is, everybody comes back to life because they have that same ability. Let's get some of our protection back. And we called an assist, and he shot twice because he was debuffed. And let's go ahead and... let's see, double attack. And we're going to go ahead and put... let's go ahead and shoot him. Boom. He's going to die really quick. All right, so now all we got to do is we got to take out Darth Sion. And that didn't do much. Let's just keep going with the basic. He doesn't have enough turn meter. We'll burn him. That'll work. Oh, he resisted it. Let's go ahead and do a mass attack. We'll stun him. We'll just try and take as much damage to him as possible. And we need to recover our protection. And we'll do a double shot. And let's try to debuff him some more. Yes, we got thermal detonators. I'm able to taunt. And let's just keep with the basic. And let's go ahead and do the Kyuzo War Helmet. This should kill him, but then he's going to come back to life, of course. There he goes. So he comes back to hell by hatred. And he killed everybody, but two of them got to come back. And he's got over 50%. I think this should stun him. Oh, it didn't. Man. But he won't have his regenerate right away. So let's go ahead and get him there. Oh, boy, he's definitely a very difficult individual to kill with the Held by Hatred. Hopefully we can get a stun now. I should have kept the mass attack for the record to stun him, because that's one of our only... the mass attack is really the only way to keep him. Okay, here we go. This should do it. Right there. Whop. And there we go. Now, it took me 8 minutes, and I was going really, really slow. And it wasn't a perfect victory, but I just wanted to showcase kind of the thought process behind the battle. And as you can see, even with one of the most overpowered teams in the game, arguably the most overpowered team in the game, we were able to handle it. And I didn't play it perfectly. So if you guys are, looking at this particular character, he's definitely one to consider. Now, he's going to have more than likely that $10 pack like they always do, so that will give you an extra star. Not sure he's going to be viable. In fact, I'm confident he won't be viable in Arena at only 3 or 4 stars, and the reason is he's already ridiculously squishy, and so that's a bit of a problem now already at maximum level. And so he's one of those guys you're going to have to wait for a few months until he's free to play farmable, or you can make the decision to purchase him and go all in. But as you can see, you can possibly lose on offense potentially with this team, because I have a perfect setup and you may or may not have all of your bounty hunters totally maxed out. It is possible, though, to take them into Arena and beat the best Sith teams. And I will tell you, when I tested, when they did not have Sith Trooper, I went through the team exceptionally faster. Sith Trooper really throws a wrench in things. And then the last thing is, when you're going against Scion, keep that multi-attack until you need the stun, because that's basically the only way you can get the stun. I hope this showcases Jango all right, so you guys can kind of see what he's all about. And as always, if you have any ideas about different team comps you'd want to see in PvP, or if you have any questions about his kit, leave them in the comments down below, and keep your gaming on. Warrior out.